In this video, we're going to talk about lures and gestures because they're two common terms used in dog training, but they're often misunderstood because people don't understand the difference between the two. We're going to try and talk about that here because once you understand the difference between the two, and once you understand how to deploy the two different systems, your training is going to get a lot better. Let's just go back and review the lure. The lure is you hold a high-value food reward into your hand and you teach your dog to jam his nose in your hand, and by doing that, you can manipulate the dog's body. For example, into a sit, you raise the dog's nose up, his butt comes down. As soon as the butt touches the ground, you mark it and deliver the food reward to the dog. The difference between a gesture and a lure is there's no food involved in your hand with a gesture. And we try and shorten the movement that we would normally do with a lure with our hand. We try and shorten and speed it up. And when the dog goes down, we mark the behavior and we feed with a food reward. So there's two different things. The gesture is a non-verbal signal to the dog to perform a behavior. Sit. Maybe we point our hand over here and we train the dog. That means go that way. Now there's many training steps to do that, but that is the gesture. There's no food in my hand. If the dog does it, we can reward him. Maybe this is a gesture we can do to teach our dog to roll over. Obviously, many training steps to get him to do it, but there's no food in our hand. The gesture is the quick, fast, short movement that tells the dog to do what we'd already trained him to do through luring. So there needs to be fluency in luring before we add the gesture to it. In our next videos, we're going to talk about how to add a verbal command to a gesture. But companion dog owners don't have to fade the gesture if they don't want to. People that have dogs that want to be in competitive dog sports, they have to fade the gesture. They have to fade the signal and go to a verbal command in their training. So a lot of pet dog owners can use a gesture for the rest of their life. And why is that important? I think I've already explained in this course that with a dog that listens to us talk all day long, doesn't understand 99.99% of what we're saying. Dogs are visual learners. They're not verbal learners. We teach them through repetition and repetition and rewards to be verbal animals. But they're not normally verbal animals. They read us like a book and they read gestures like a book. That's why a gesture is a stronger motivator in the beginning for the dog because they'll learn to understand what it means. Physical is a stronger motivator for our dog than a verbal command until they learn otherwise.